Good Friday morning, everybody. It is February 12th, and welcome to the frozen tundra here in Iowa. It's a bit of a chilly weekend for us ahead, so please be careful when you're out and about. Make sure you got plenty of gas in the truck or your car. So today this is my day off, but I got a lot of things I got to deal with today besides the devotion. So we're going to have a short one today, I think, and we're going to look at just 3 verses today, and they're actually 3 very short verses actually too. We're looking at, of course, we're in the 22nd chapter of Luke's Gospel. We're going to look at verses 63, 64, and 65 today. And again, they're very short verses, even for 3 verses and short verses to boot. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We remember that before I do that though, remember that yesterday we had Jesus, the arrest of Jesus, and they took him before Caiaphas, and he's at Caiaphas's home. We had the denial of Peter. This is the timeline that we see in the synoptics. Is they go to Caiaphas, the high priest Caiaphas's home. In John's, you have a little different thing where John throws in taking Jesus to Ananias' house first, but that's not in the synoptics, and we're in one of the synoptics, so we're not talking about that. It's still Thursday, though. I know that there are some timelines that try to throw this, what we're talking about here now, into Friday, and that's just not the case. It's Thursday night. Okay, and in fact, it's still Thursday. It's after dark because they arrest him in the garden after dark, but it's still Thursday today. Okay, I know it's Friday real time for us, but it's Thursday. We won't get to Friday till tomorrow, or Saturday for us. All right, but Holy Week is Thursday. So let's look at 63, 4, and 5 in the 22nd chapter of Luke. Now the men who were holding Jesus began to mock him and beat him. They also blindfolded him and kept asking him, "Prophesy, who is that struck you?" They kept heaping many other insults on him. Okay, this is Jesus is being beaten in Caiaphas' home. Now, what happens immediately after this, and before what we jump into tomorrow, Luke doesn't really talk about this, but after the beating, he is placed into a holding cell, if you will, in the basement of Caiaphas' home. It's a cistern is what it is, and they know where Caiaphas' home is in Israel, and they know where this pit is, the pit that Jesus is held in overnight. It's one of the places we got to visit in Israel, of course, and for me, this pit, this cell, where Jesus was held that night before being taken to the Sanhedrin the next day. That was the place that really had the most ominous and foreboding, and it had the greatest impact on me personally. There was just something about that place. Now it's carved out of the stone and the bedrock, and it was they believe it was originally a cistern, but Caiaphas used it for a holding cell. If you can imagine having a cell in the basement of your house to hold prisoners in, that's what this was used for, and they would lower them down into it. Now it's got some steps carved into the side of it so people can go down into it. Not a whole lot of people at one time, but it's bigger than you might think. But it's not a big place by any stretch. But it's all stone. There's no way you're getting out of there. They would have closed it, put a cover over it, and you would have been in pitch darkness in there nighttime inside this stone cave, or stone cavern, I guess, if you want to put it that way, and then blocked off. So it was a very, very, very emotional place. Now, one of the things that you do when you're there at Caiaphas' home and in that pit, there is a small lectern set up in the corner of it, and on that sits a book with different languages, all different languages of Psalm 88. And while you're down there, they have one of your group read this. So the 8 of us, 9 with Mishi, went down into the pit, and while we were down there, I read this poem, or this psalm, Psalm 88, which is known as the most depressing psalm. Of all the psalms, it's the most depressing. I did a sermon on this last year, and I will link that. I don't think I linked that sermon yet from the other day. I'll do that. I forgot all about that until I just said that. I'll go back and do that. But I gave a sermon on it. I'll link that because I'm not going to go into the detail that I went there in that sermon by any means. But I did a sermon over Psalm 88. And I think it would tie in with this. So if you have time, go ahead and find that link once I get done here. But it is known as the most depressing of the Psalms. In that sermon, I kind of tried to show you how it wasn't so depressing. But I'm going to read it for you this morning, and I want you to just visualize, if you can, imagine where we were at in this stone cavern. It's going to be dark. Imagine being down there as Jesus was in the dark, and it's believed that this psalm is a prophecy of what's going on with Jesus at that time. Okay, so let me read the psalm for you, and then I'm just going to let you go, and I'm going to post up that sermon, and I'll let you contemplate on this between now and tomorrow, if you will. All right? Okay. Psalm 88, and this is the King James version I'm reading today. So. O Lord God of my salvation, I have cried day and night before thee. Let my prayer come before thee. Incline thy ear unto my cry. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draweth right nigh unto the grave. I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man that hath no strength. Free among the dead like the slain that lie in the grave, whom thou rememberest no more, and they are cut off from thy hand. Thou hast laid me in the lowest pit, in darkness in the depths. Thy wrath laid hard upon me, and thou hast afflicted me with all thy waves. Selah. Thou hast put away mine acquaintances far from me. Thou hast made me an abomination unto them. I am shut up, and I cannot come forth. Mine eyes mourneth by reason of affliction, Lord. I have called daily upon thee. I have stretched out my hands unto thee. Wilt thou shew wonders to the dead? Shall the dead arise and praise thee? Selah. Shall thy loving kindness be declared in the grave, or thy faithfulness in destruction? Shall thy wonders be known in the dark, and thy righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? But unto thee have I cried, O Lord, and in the morning shall my prayer prevent thee. Lord, why cast thou off my soul? Why hidest thou thy face from me? I am afflicted and ready to die. From my youth up until I suffer thy terrors, I am distracted. Thy fierce wrath goeth over me. Thy terrors have cut me off. They have come about me daily like water. They compass me about together. Lover and friend hast thou put far from me, and mine acquaintances into darkness. All right. So with that, I'm just going to let you go and think about, maybe go look up Psalm 88 in another translation, look it up. Like I said, I'll link that sermon below. Take a listen to that if you will. And with that, I'm going to let you go. I've got some things to deal with this morning. And so I'm going to have to break away. Have a very blessed day. If you don't have to go out and about, I'd suggest this weekend staying as close to home as you can, unless you really trust your vehicle to get you. If you got to run to Carroll or someplace, please trust your vehicle, or make sure that your vehicle is properly running. So have a very blessed day, and as I have always said, be a blessing to someone today. We'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.